I'd like to call the Monday, March 20, 2017 Oakwood City Council meeting to order. Would you please rise and join with the pledge to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call, please, Lori?
Mayor Duncan?
Here.
Vice Mayor Byington?
Here.
Mr. Stevens?
Here.
Mrs. Hilton?
Here.
Mr. Epley?
Here.
We will dispense with the minutes of our meeting, and we will review those minutes at our April 3rd meeting. Under status reports for our agenda, we have none. We have some visitors here, so if any of you wish to address council before we deliberate, I would like you to come down and introduce yourself and name and address for the record, and you can speak for 3 minutes, and we would welcome anyone who wishes to speak. You can't hear me? Really? Okay, I will get closer to the mic. Okay. Did you wish to speak? No. Okay. Does anyone else wish to speak? All right. We will then go to our legislation that we have this evening, and I believe Mr. Byington.
I need to recuse myself under advisement from city attorney.
Okay.
I do as well. I have a potential conflict of interest as I have a family member who's in the same law firm as one of the attorneys.
Okay.
One of the parties.
Thank you. We will come get you after we finish our deliberations. Okay. I have a resolution that I'm introducing for City Council, and I have a rather long introduction to it, but it's a resolution to authorize the settlement of pending litigation concerning the Point Oakwood development. The redevelopment of what was once NCR Sugar Camp property and development of the land east of Sugar Camp has been a city objective for many years. It was addressed in our 1997 sub-area plan, and then again in our 2004 City Comprehensive Plan, which included specific NCR Sugar Camp sub-area plan, site development alternatives, and guidelines. A consistent theme in those planning documents is that Oakwood should encourage the development of alternative forms of housing to complement our existing stock of homes, which are predominantly single-family residences. The fastest growing market segment in the housing market is for attached homes, condominiums, and other alternatives to freestanding single-family homes. The original master plan for the Sugar Camp and Point Oakwood developments was approved on April 23, 2007. In about a month, we will mark the 10-year anniversary of that date. In that decade, like any major development, there have been obstacles to overcome. These have included the property's unique topography and changing market conditions, including a major economic recession. As a result, the Point Oakwood master plan has been amended numerous times. The original master plan included single-family homes, attached resident units and duplexes, a professional building, and 4 mid-rise 4-story condominium buildings. Since then, the following plan amendments have been approved. In May 2008, the professional building was eliminated and replaced with attached townhomes. Attached resident units near the Far Hill Schanz Corner were replaced with single-family homes, and 4 mid-rise condominiums were replaced with 2 higher-rise 7-story condominium buildings at the west end of Old River Trail. In December 2009, the number of duplex units was reduced. In February 2011, duplexes planned for Old River Trail were replaced with single-family residences, and the configuration of lots along Far Hills Avenue was changed to accommodate homes with larger floor plans. In March 2012, the attached townhomes were eliminated, and approval was granted for an assisted living facility at the northeast corner. The assisted living approval has since expired. In July 2012, the high-rise 7-story condominiums on Old River Trail were eliminated, and 4 2- and 3-story condominium buildings were planned at the corner of Far Hills and Schanz Avenues. In July 2014, the condos planned for the Far Hills Schanz Corner were modified, going from 4 to 3 buildings and increasing the number of units from 20 to 23. In February 2016, City Council held a public hearing on 2 additional proposals. One proposal was called The Point, which was a modification of the condos on the Far Hills Schanz Corner, which would increase the number of units from 23 to 32. The other proposal was called The Trails, which was an 84-unit condo development with a pool and clubhouse proposed to be built along Old River Trail. Both proposals were subject to public hearings before the Planning Commission, and the Commission had unanimously recommended that we approve both The Point and The Trails. At our public hearing last February, over 65 Oakwood residents spoke against the proposals. It was one of the longest, if not the longest, council meeting we have ever had. Council was not persuaded by arguments against renters, quote unquote, but there was some legitimate concerns about possible increases to traffic and density in the development. Some of us felt that traffic and density would not be an issue. Some of us felt this was in fact a significant issue. Ultimately, council voted to approve The Point and to deny The Trails. The decisions by council led to a pair of appeals by the Montgomery County Common Pleas Court. One was filed by a group of 14 Oakwood residents, all of whom live in or adjacent to Point Oakwood, who appealed the decision to approve The Point. The other was filed by OIG and Hills Properties, who appealed the decision to deny The Trails. One of those cases has been decided in the city's favor and has been appealed to the 2nd District Court of Appeals. The other case is still pending at the Common Pleas Court. While we have been litigating these cases for almost a year now, we have also been keenly aware that no further development has proceeded at Point Oakwood. For the city, for the developers, and most importantly, for the residents who live there, there has been a cloud of uncertainty over what the rest of the development would look like and when it could be built. While these cases have progressed in the courts, we have been working with those 14 neighbors and the developer to negotiate a settlement agreement that resolves the issues in dispute, and we believe that we have reached such an agreement. The settlement agreement we are considering tonight is an effort to reach a global resolution of the issues in both appeal cases. Although council has reviewed the agreement, I would like to summarize the significant items in the agreement for the citizens of Oakwood tonight. OIG and Hills Properties will abandon the proposal to build The Point, which was the 32 condominium units at the corner of Far Hills and West Schanz Avenues. Instead, that land will be replatted for the development of 2 single-family homes along West Schanz, 2 single-family homes along Far Hills, and a dedicated public green space at the corner. The replatting will take place within 120 days, at which time the green space will be deeded to the city with restrictive covenants to prevent any future non-public use or development. OIG and Hills Properties will build 84 condominium units known as The Trails along Old River Trail. There is an area of approximately 5 acres of land in the southwest corner of Point Oakwood that was originally planned for residential use. Under the agreement, OIG, with the concurrence of the residents of Point Oakwood, will pursue a master plan amendment to change the use from residential to commercial. This amendment will require a new application, public hearings, and approval by the Planning Commission and City Council. OIG plans to construct a 3-story office building to complement the existing Sugar Camp commercial campus. Vehicular access and parking for the office building would be from Sugar Camp Circle and not from Point Oakwood Way, thus eliminating the possibility that 5 acres could generate additional traffic through the neighborhood. The court will retain jurisdiction to enforce the settlement agreement, meaning there will be no further amendments to the master plan other than the office building proposal that OIG has agreed to pursue. and only if that amendment is approved. The original master plan approved a density of 125 dwelling units in the development. That number has gone as high as 147 with some of the amendments that have been approved, and would have increased to 163 if both the point and the trails were approved. With this agreement, the final density will be 135 units. It is important to note that this agreement has the unanimous support of the 14 neighbors, as well as the owner and developer. They have all signed the settlement agreement, and if council approves it tonight, the parties will file the same with the Montgomery County Common Pleas Court. Although we are optimistic of court approval, the agreement will not take effect unless and until it is approved by the court. We have known for many years that Oakwood needs additional housing options, and condos have been part of every version of the master plan since the beginning of this development. We believe this agreement resolves the traffic and density issues to everyone's satisfaction, and Point Oakwood will be a point of pride for Oakwood for the years to come. I would like to thank our residents, not just the 14 neighbors who participated in negotiating this agreement, but also the many others who take pride in their community and who came to speak about this issue last February. I would also like to thank OIG and Hills Properties for their continuing interest in building something of lasting value in Oakwood. This agreement required reasonable cooperation from all parties, and we salute all of them for their efforts in negotiating an agreement which benefits the entire community. So I would move that council adopt this resolution this evening. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, Lori, would you call the roll?
Mayor Duncan,
Yes.
Mr. Stevens,
Yes.
Mr. Epley.
Thank you. I would point out for those that are in the audience, a copy of the settlement agreement is attached to the resolution that we just applied. It is a public document, and you're welcome to read all of the whole agreement for yourself. That concludes our legislation for tonight's meeting. We do not have a staff report. Do we have a city manager report? I have no report, Your Honor. Then we will go to council comments. Mr. Epley. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry, yes. We need to bring in our 2 recused council members. I got a little carried away. I tried to beat your record, but I lost. So as I said before, we have no staff report. Do we have a city manager report? I have nothing, Your Honor. All right. Then we have council comments. Mr. Epley.
I still have no comments.
Thank you. Mrs. Hilton, do you have any comments?
Nor for me, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Stevens?
None this evening.
Okay. Vice Mayor Byington?
No comments.
All right. I have no comments at this time. We do have a pre-scheduled work session, and so we'll have about a 10-minute break, and then council will adjourn to a work session in our conference room. And our next meeting will be scheduled on Monday, April 3rd, 2017. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you for attendance.